So I'm having a chat with Luke of Unpeople. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Good morning to yourself.
Yeah, nice, bright and early. We never seem to do interviews this
Yeah.
early, so
I think I think this might be, and you can have this record, even though I'm not sure what it means. This might be the earliest interview I've ever done.
wow,
And it's
yeah.
only 9 a.m., which makes me sound like a complete degenerate. But but I don't
But
think I've done an interview before midday before.
no, bands don't normally get up until midday anyway. So
So we're usually all night owls.
yeah, absolutely, I'm the same. But let's chat about some music, shall we? Because we've been playing a new single of yours called Waste. Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about the single.
The single is, I think, in essence, I think it encapsulates everything that makes Unpeople Unpeople, really. I think for a long time we felt like Waste would have always been the lead single for the EP that we're putting out, and arguably be the first thing that we ever sort of release and let people hear about the band. But Barley, the A&R at Sharp Tone, felt quite strongly that Smother felt good to be the first single, and I think he was completely right. It did exactly what it needed to do, and I don't regret that decision at all. But I think, yeah, I think it just has all of the kind of elements that make up People in regards to what we are. You know, it's got a lot of multi-layered vocals. It's got kind of, big sort of riffs, a little bit of technicality in the middle section, and then hopefully a chorus that sticks in your head as well, which I feel are very much the foundation blocks of what make this band.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's coming off your debut EP, which is out on the 19th of April. But
Yes.
apart from the tracks that are already out there, what else can we expect on the release?
Um, I think there's a couple songs. I mean, there's only 5 songs, and you've heard 2 of them already. But I
Hmm.
think across the other 3, it definitely maybe branches out a little bit further into other sonic spheres, which we're kind of exploring. But I think across the 5 tracks, it really represents what we do. You know, I think you get a taste of everything and every side of the band across the 5 songs.
Yeah, nice. And you've not done too many shows recently, but you've got loads of festivals coming up this summer. I bet you can't wait to be doing some live stuff.
Absolutely. I think we've only played 11 shows, I think, or something. So we had a really we really appreciate being able to launch the band last year at 2000 Trees, and then we had a little run with Conjurer. Then we were fortunate enough to play with Better Lovers, who we're playing again with later on in the year. But yeah, festival season's looking awesome for us. I think individually, in any of our previous projects, this is probably our best festival season we've ever had. And I know myself and Meg are particularly excited because we're playing Kendall Calling and we get to watch the Sugar Babes together. But also we're playing Bloodstock, which Jake's really excited about. So we've got quite a range of demographics and festivals that we're gonna have to try and convince to like our band.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've known each other for many years because of your previous band, Press to Miko. What was it like transitioning from a band of that kind of genre to a more heavier unpeople band?
Um, I think it's felt quite natural, to be honest. Like, when we knew that Prestamico was going to end at the end of 2021, and quite literally that evening we sort of had that meeting to sort of discuss that stuff. Myself and Jake were just like, "Well, I'm not done. Are you?" And Jake was like, "Well, no, I'm not done. Let's kind of do the band we always wanted to do." So I think within a couple of days, me and him were together with 2 guitars. We were just like, let's see what happens. We didn't know what the lineup was going to be. We didn't know who was going to be doing what, other than we both play guitar together. And yeah, it was quite literally a 2 year process to releasing our first single. Like Jake figured out to the day from that meeting we had when we knew Prestamico was going to end to Smother dropping last November. It was 2 years to the day. So it was a long process of just being
Hmm.
patient, making sure we did everything right, or at least as right as we could and could control. And yeah, I mean the transition, I think we would still people would still be under the same broad alternative rock umbrella
Hmm.
as Prestamica. And if you knew Prestamica, you probably hear things like the way we use vocals and the way vocals get layered up with harmonies and stuff is still consistent with that. But um, the coolest thing is seeing that people do see it as a whole new thing, and it doesn't aren't just saying it's like Preston Miko Mark II, which I think at the very start me and Jake were a little bit concerned about. Just because even if it sounds different, sometimes just by association, you can have that label attached to you. But it's been so cool how it's been received, and so far everyone's just takes it as a new project. And I personally feel like it stands on its own enough, but you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, good. And the sound that you've created then with Unpeople, is it the sounds that you originally wanted to create, or is it simply just how it's turned out?
I think I think it's funny. It sounds like a bit of a cop out answer, but it just sounds like me and Jake writing songs together, really. And that all four of us have input, but typically the core of the songs will start with me and Jake in this room that I'm sat in right now, more often than not, just like hashing stuff out. And then we take it to a live room and we all get involved. But yeah, I think this band was very much we when we started, we didn't have any preconceptions on what it was going to be. We obviously had stuff that we knew we liked, and you don't really write, you don't often, if you're doing it for the for selfish reasons like a lot of us creatives are, you don't often write music that you don't want to hear. So we it was just a case of let's start writing, let's do what we think sounds cool and what we want to do, and it just ended up sounding the way it does.
Yeah, good. And looking to the future, do you have an idea of what direction you want to take the band?
Honestly, no. It's just, we've been writing for whatever will come next. And it's the same attitude of let's just do what feels good. I mean, there is, I think it wouldn't be wise to ignore stuff that you've done that has connected, because now we've actually got some music out and we'll have an EP out. It's really good for us to see, oh, people really like when we do that. So maybe we should incorporate a bit more of that. But the nice thing is we kind of started out with the mindset we're just going to write the music we want to write. So if people connect to any aspect of it, it's still stuff that we like making. So going forwards, no, it's very much just see what happens, and you know when there's the next body of work, we can refine that to make it the most sort of cohesive package it can be. But yeah, we've always just written because it's fun and that's what we like doing.
Yeah, for sure. And after next week, you'll have 5 tracks out into the world. You must have written more. How many more's out there, and how are they sounding?
There's some more, and they're sounding cool. I think that's all I can say right now.
Yeah, nice. And let's go back to touring and things like that. Obviously, you've got loads of festivals coming up over the next few months. What's the plan towards the end of this year? Are you hoping to be out on the road again?
For sure. I mean, it's quite literally the plan for the rest of the year is just be a band, and that includes writing, that includes getting out on the road as much as possible. We'll be heading back into the studio at some point, and then you just do it all again, and then you do it again and again and again until you either don't want to do it anymore or something else happens.
Mm. And any chance of going overseas this time round over to Europe or the
Yeah,
States?
that's that's been spoken about for sure. And again, there's nothing I can really say on that, but 100% it's in the plan and in being discussed right now.
Great stuff. Luke, it's been a pleasure having a catch up with you.
Nice chatting to you again, Jim. Thanks for wanting to chat to us. I really appreciate all the support, and I'm glad you're liking the tunes.